If you haven't had a chance to spend any time at Hudson, I would encourage you to do so. All the boys are amazing, but Hudson is a particularly unique little ninja in many ways. And so I want to tell you one story about him, because pretty soon he's going to be old enough to know that I'm telling stories about him. I'm not going to be able to do it anymore, so I have to get this over with. But this was a couple years ago. And Hudson was kind of right in the middle of potty training at the time. And we're up in Washington. Thank you. You know what? Actually, if you're not going to use that, we could use it at my house for a lot of reasons.
Were you right?
I'm not proud. Okay. So we're up in Washington. We're kind of out in a little small town, and there's kind of an old style, like 50s style drive-in, like burger and fries joint. And so we stop there for lunch. We go in, we order our stuff. We get it in little like red baskets with, you know, like the paper inside. And we go and we sit down at the table. We're sitting there. We're eating these, you know, inhumane burgers like this size. And then Hudson says, "I have to go potty," which was a big deal, because we're trying to get him, like, you know, interact with his bladder in this way. So it's like that's so as soon as he says, I'm like, "We're in." So I'm like, put my food down. I'm like, let's go. And so he runs. So he's like running through the restaurant. You know, I'm kind of bumping him, getting him going in the right direction. He gets to the men's room, and all of a sudden he gets like distracted by something on the ground. I'm like, no, we got to keep moving. We got to take care of this. So we go into the bathroom, okay? This old restaurant. We go, kind of come around the corner. We go into the bathroom, and we're going back for the stalls, because, you know, he's pretty much at that sit-down phase. And then he looks to his right. And ladies, you're going to have to use your imagination. But guys, you know when there's like those really like old-timey urinals? Like the ones that are so big, it's basically a bathtub like tipped up on its side. It goes all the way to the floor, you know, they're kind of like a phone booth. You can like climb inside of, you know, it's like a porcelain phone booth. Love those things. So I walk in and Hudson's going by and he's like, and he looks at me with those like, "Can I?" And I was like, "Little dude, you have earned the right to stand up when you pee." So, but this takes some work. Okay, this takes some work. So I'm like, all right. So we drop the drawers and get him centered in front of it, you know. So he's standing there, but he's standing like this. And I'm like, this is not, you know, at the very best, you're going to pee on your feet. That's the best thing. So I'm standing behind him, and I'm like playing umpire, you know, behind him, trying to give directions. And I'm like, buddy, you got to kind of lean into it. You got to kind of lean. And so he's just standing there, and he's like, and instead of like leaning, he just leans forward. Instead of his little forehead is pressed against the back of the porcelain. So he's all standing like this, okay? He's all at an angle, his little forehead pressed against the porcelain. And at this point, the damage has been done. Anything he can contract at this point has been contracted, so I'm like, little buddy, let's just get it over with. So I'm like, go ahead, take care of business. So I'm standing behind, but I can't really see what's going on from behind, you know? I'm saying, so I do what any self-respecting father will do, kind of duck around to the side just to make sure everything mechanically is working. But I don't realize the urinal's been retrofitted with like that electric eye flusher. So as I go down and away, with a little forehead against the thing, and this thing was one of those like 12-gallon flushers. Woo! But it's his first time. So he thinks that's what's supposed to happen. So he just sits there. Just taking it all in. It was one of my more difficult moments as a father. So suffice it to say, we spent a good chunk of time at the sink doing some cleanup before I had to face his mother and explain what happened. But